First of all, not just execution, fast execution, but also decision making in real time, right? I'm a day trader by heart, so it's all about watching the chart create or form in front of you, and you've got to make the decision in real time. It's very similar to gaming when you play a first person shooter, right?
What about AI then? Are you looking to implement any kind of AI in maybe the risk side, or to help traders?
AI is just it's a state of mind, right? It's like thinking of risk. You think of risk in the trading aspect of it, and company level, employees, etc. So also AI. It's sort of like a state of mind. So thinking on how you implement it, not just on trading specifically, but on everything that involved the company, trader pool in that case. You have strategies for volatile time. You have strategies for ranging, trend market. So you just need to build yourself that arsenal of strategies, like 5 6 of those that you will use once you understand what's the market cycle.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Today we're diving deep into the world of professional trading with a true industry veteran. Our guest is Michael Katz, the CEO of Trade the Pool, with over 16 years' experience of day trading, stocks, and futures. He combines deep analytical skill with hands on market navigation and has been instrumental in developing advanced technological tools to support traders in real time. He's passionate about education, community, and bridging practical market experience with innovative technology. So let's get ready to learn how to enhance your performance and start making data driven decisions. Michael, welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks so much, Steve. I appreciate being here. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, the question we always kick off with, tell us your story. How did you get involved in the world of trading?
Yeah, it's always fascinating. You hear a lot of stories, you see a lot of interviews on YouTube or whatnot, and
Hmm.
everyone got his own unique way to get into the market, right?
For
So
sure.
I started with Robert Kiyosaki book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So
Hmm.
and that's the literally the first time I heard about the stock market. And coming with a background of gaming, I was already fast on the keyboard and like to be, just playing hours and hours a day. So it made sense to me to take the same skill that I have in gaming to trading, because still these days I'm looking at the chart and I'm watching it like bad guys, good guys.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've never, I don't think I've come across a gamer turn trader.
Yeah,
So, I mean, is that how you kind of approach trading? Is it more about kind of speed of execution? So, no, for my days on the floor, obviously, you pay for direct market access, ladders like
yeah.
TT, etc. So that is a real edge. But then, obviously, a lot of people now obviously will just be retail traders. So that speed of execution is less. So what's your kind of take on that then? I mean, how did your kind of gaming experience lead to you trading from an executional standpoint, but also how's that had to evolve with these volatile markets?
Yeah, first of all, not just execution, fast execution, but also decision making in real time, right? I'm I'm a day trader by heart. So it's all about watching the chart create or form in front of you, and you got to make the decision in real time. It's very similar to gaming when you play a first-person shooter, right? So in real time, you got to make those decisions. Regarding the volatility that you mentioned, it's something that I believe, especially in today's market, right? We got Trump tweet, and all of a sudden the market is down, or the next day you wake up smiling and the market is going up. You gotta have for those situations, you gotta understand that the market is moving in cycles, right? Different period of times will continue to come and go, and whenever you have that understanding, then you need to start developing different strategies for different times. And I guess that's the main thing that led me along the way. As I gathered more knowledge and experience, I understood that I need to develop different strategies to attack the market, to attack like the gaming. Um, so you have strategies for volatile time, you have strategies for ranging, trend market. So you just need to build yourself that arsenal of strategies, like 5 6 of those that you will use once you understand what's the market cycle now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it's good to speak to another day trader. I'm absolutely, some of my trades are seconds. My trade last night was nine
Hmm.
seconds.
Wow.
But
Okay.
yeah, I know. So yeah, pretty quick. But yeah, I totally agree from a day trading perspective. There's that element of
Mhm.
time, So a scalp, for instance, means different things to different people. But I think you have to allot a time for that because as soon as you go over a certain period of holding your trade, it goes into something else.
Mhm.
Again, with a scalp, you can be right or wrong over a very
Yeah.
short period of time. But if you're trying to hold it, you turn a scalp into a position and then you're just at the behest of the market. And I think that's why a lot of people stop day trading and go to investing or swing trading because they
Mm.
can't handle the volatility of short term trading. Because for me, day trading means, it has to be less than obviously a day. But a lot of people class themselves as traders, but they're not really. They hold positions for days and weeks sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean these days, day trading. We know that day trading is much harder than swing or investing, right? Because
Sure, for
it's
sure.
harder to understand what the market is going to do. Like you said, especially with the volatility, comparing to understand that Apple should be up in the next 5 years or so, right? It
Mhm.
makes sense. So I get that.
Well, everything always goes up, doesn't it? Until it
Like,
doesn't.
yeah,
That's what
until
we're
the
kind of
next
built on, aren't we?
crisis.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. So, I mean, obviously, being a stock trader, um, I mean, what's your kind of strategy for? What kind of markets, first and foremost, do you trade? Is it mainly American, or do you trade, across Germany, the DAX, FTSE, etc.? When you're taking this very complicated global macro view, what are you focusing on right now? You mentioned Trump and things like that. I mean,
That's all
it's
American.
work.
Yeah.
How do you balance? Yeah, how do you balance that kind of fundamental technical kind of decision making, deciding what to trade?
Yeah, of course, I have my, investing money when I'm looking for the next 5, 10 years, um, buying American stocks mostly or indices, but and just looking for that trend and the next big move, right? For example, in Dubai, in the next 3 months, they're gonna open the first a flying car, a flying taxi, right?
Yep.
Station. So obviously, I'm looking for those things when it comes to investing. But for trading, it's all about either the market, like Nasdaq or the S&P or the Nasdaq, or um, just American stocks, like at least the American market, not necessarily U.S. Companies.
Yeah, no, I totally get you because when you kind of tell people you're a trader, the first thing they generally ask you is, what should I buy?
Hmm.
What's going up, and that's a key difference between the investing mentality and the day trading mentality, where it doesn't really matter. You try and be market neutral, as in you're happy to buy and sell because you're
Anything,
trading
yeah,
within the trend. Yeah.
exactly.
So the kind of the idea behind the trading pool. I mean, what's that? How's that helping traders? Kind of navigate these markets.
Yeah, so Trader Pool basically we are operating for the last 3.5 years, and under a company that been operated for the last 10 years, the fivers or 5%. And basically the idea of it is to provide traders the right environment to actually accelerate with their trading, right? So we, especially for stock traders, we completely changing the way traders behave up until today. So instead of bringing your capital, instead of trading your own money and risk it all in the market, you can actually go through a test. You pay for that test, just to have a skin in the game. But once you pass that test, we give you funds and you can trade our capital and we split the profits. Once we have that equation and a trader goes through that funnel, or she automatically disconnect the money part from trading, right? The aspect of losing money, which is hurting for everyone, right? If I'm seeing a trade that goes against me and I'm losing $50, in most cases, a trader that just started to trade, he will run out of that trade, right? Immediately, we will close it and not going to wait for his stop loss, for example. But when you detach the money from trading, you focus on performance, and then you will see the real trader, the real skill come into play.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Interesting way of approaching it. So how does that kind of psychology? How do you kind of mentor that psychology? Because I mean, I guess it's one thing to say when you detach the money that it has no meaning, but if the money has no meaning, how do you motivate people
Mhm.
to make money? This is the problem, isn't it? It's kind of, I guess, investing can shut off your emotions to some extent. You put your stop in, you buy and you hold, etc., and that can
Yeah,
work in trading. But for day trading, um, everyone is going to feel some emotion because,
for sure.
again, because that volatility, and especially if you're trading very fast moving markets. I don't know anyone that's been able to fully day trade and switch off the emotions. I mean, my experience of managing people on the floors is that
Yeah.
they find a way of harnessing it. I mean, what's your experience from the people that you've mentored through?
Yeah, so of course there will always be an emotion into it, right? Involved somehow, to
Mm,
some degree. The idea is that even if you have some emotions, we still have the risk control that we're, enforcing on your account to not blow the account immediately. For example, we have a daily pause, right? So you
yep.
have, let's say, $700 to lose a day. You
Yep.
trade in, this is not your day, you get emotion, you're losing it, right?
Mhm.
We stop you for that day, you're done for that day, you do your calculation, and just understand what you did wrong and all, and then come back the next day. And and this element, by the way, this element of daily pause, which you probably won't implement in a broker account, like a classic broker account, completely changed the game. Every trader that I interviewed, I'm interviewing all of our funded traders, right? Every trader that I spoke with said exactly that. The daily pause saved his whole account and made him a better trader. That's insane to see.
I mean, for sure. I mean, again, I've been a risk manager on the floors, so that's the same mentality we have.
Yeah,
You can trade in the morning, you get stopped out, you get a certain amount to trade in the afternoon, but you
mm,
definitely have a daily stop, and each trader is individual. There's traders that can, trade badly in the morning, get it back in the afternoon, but that's
exactly.
where the vast majority of retail traders, I guess, go wrong because they have no risk team, no one looking, no one just saying, even that tap on the shoulder or a message, like you said, rightly said, maybe this isn't your day. Now's the time just to kind of sit back, preserve capital, live to trade another day. And so, I mean, that sounds like
100%.
a very powerful tool. I mean, if you've got any kind of stats, that'd be really interesting, from your kind of perspective. We all know that retail traders, anywhere between 70 and maybe 90% of traders lose money or fail
Yeah,
on a broker account. What have you got
yeah.
that down to? Have you got any kind of stats?
Yeah, for sure. So we have almost 20, up to 25% of the traders that actually pass the evaluation
Mhm.
from the evaluation, the test account, basically, which is incredible and very, I gotta say, very very high to the industry of prop trading. And we got about 15% to 20% that reaching the first payout at least. Right,
Right.
those are the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I mean, I'm not really kind of familiar too much with the kind of prop side of things. I mean, obviously, you hear different things, but it is
Mm,
something that people are definitely drawn to right now, isn't it? Kind of being able to access
for sure.
greater capital and have that support network. I think the support network sometimes is more valuable than the actual capital.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, the ecosystem, right? On one end, you get enough capital to trade with, actually capital that's worth your time, right? Because
Yep.
when I started to trade, I traded with $10,000. That's all I had, you know, a while back in my 20s, early 20s. And I started to trade, and even on a good month, when I actually became profitable, on a good month, I made $500, $1,000, right? That's 10%, and most traders want to 10% in a long run. So basically, once you and I spent hours and hours and hours studying, educating myself, spending hours about just clicking the mouse key and then journaling and all of those things, as you are familiar with. And the idea is, at the end of the month, as I said, I made 500, $1,000. It's not enough to do anything, and the capital didn't worth my time. But now, when you get enough capital, you get $50,000. okay, now I can trade, and even if I'm making 5%, 25k, 2500, that's great. I can do something with it. So the capital, the fact that you're not risking your own monies, that shift your mind from a psychology aspect, and also the risk involved in it. All of those things, the community, as you mentioned, we have a great Discord community. We have live YouTube when we trade together every day. All of those educational content that we create, those that actually matters and push the traders to the next level. Yeah.
So when you say live trades, this you trading.
Um, to be honest, today, because I'm the CEO, I'm running the company behind the scene. Once a month, maybe twice a month, I will jump into the live trading. But we do
Yep.
have guys, we have funded guys that are trading live, and they are the guys that are hosting the show, basically.
So going back to the kind of interview process, you said this is quite interesting. So what do you look for? What are the characteristics of people that you're looking to kind of fund and see as traders? There must be some things that stand out.
Yeah, so we're doing two separate things. One is profiling traders. So we have four profiles, and we try to understand from the get-go, whenever a trader joins Trader Pool, we try to understand already what he's about, right? So it's
Yeah.
first, the age and where he comes from, and then his trading part. What does he do? Is he a short-time trader, or we also have swing programs? It is a scalper or maybe a pullback, trend following, breakouts, mean reversal, all of those things. We try to learn about the trader in order to understand what to do with him on the funded stage. Do we take him to the market 100%, 200%, 50%, etc.? That's one aspect of it. And the second thing about learning about the traders is actually, as I said, interviewing them to learn about them, but also to get more knowledge, to share more knowledge to other traders, right? All of the interviews are on our YouTube channel and free for everyone to see. And a lot of the traders, new guys that coming in, they want to learn from someone that actually did it.
Mm.
So our guys are teaching there during their interview. They say so many good stuff. For example, we have Michael Tarantula been with us for 2.5 years, made 100K the last year, still as a part-time trader, made almost 100K, and he said stuff like he building a cushion, right? He's building a buffer, and that way he can continue to trade with us and not blow the account. A lot of nuances that only experienced traders will have the ability to share with others. So
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I guess from the kind of technological side, I mentioned in the intro. I mean, do you have kind of chart patterns, automation? How are you helping traders deal with the kind of technical side?
on the technical, we mostly have content. We have courses all over the place, all free, by the way, on our YouTube or our VOD. We have video on demand on small caps, starting from scratch, on large cap, risk management, automation. We just had a great partnership with TrendSpider, a great company, and we are now we have the ability to connect TrendSpider to Trader Pool through a bridge called Signal Stack, and you can automate your trades through TrendSpider or TradingView as well. So we're doing that too. And yeah, we're just expanding or giving the variety of options for the traders, because each trader is individual, right? You have
Yeah.
traders that doing this and the other one is doing the opposite. We're just trying to bring more on the technical side, like technology, or the educational side, bring everything into our system.
Yeah, that's interesting because so I want to go back to this idea of profiling people because what I found, in kind of my journey of helping traders, etc., is that a lot of traders overestimate the educational side. So they want to read
Mm,
every book, they want to learn every piece of information, and it
yeah.
ends up as almost like snow blindness. You know so much, you can't
Yep.
actually execute it. So how do you kind of help profile traders? I think there's two questions here. So how do you profile traders and direct them what to learn? And then
Mhm.
also, how do you change that theory of learning into actually making money? How do you help them actually make money? Because you mentioned your own experience, and
Yeah,
then I guess it's kind of two parts, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, definitely, and that's a great question. I guess the first part is once we have the profiling, and this is something that we currently not do, or doing it, but not to the fullest.
Mm,
The idea is that once we have the profile, let's say you're a small cap, short bias trader, right? And you're aggressive. You're taking 5, 10,000, 20,000 shares every time. So once we have that, we understand that this is you. We can now give you risk management course or a scale in, scale out plan. And maybe you're just starting, so you want the A to Z small cap course and etc. So it's just a matter of this is not something that we currently do to the fullest, but this is definitely the way to do it. So just understand what is your strength and what is your weaknesses, and then try to bring you the educational content to make you better on that level. We
yeah.
do a lot of coaching, right, and a lot of events on our Discord and also on YouTube. And we bring many of our partners to educate, etc. But as you said, I really um, understand what you're saying about when you're learning something, you're learning too many stuff, and you don't really
Mm.
know what to do with it, right? Because as a trader, you need to find your way, your path, right? You can learn a lot of the stuff, but at the end of the day, you will need to find your own way in the market, right? So yeah, that's about it about that. And the second question that I forgot, what was it specifically? If you can
Oh,
remind me on that.
yeah. The second part was
Yeah, it was uh, about
how to
education.
make money. How to make money. Yeah, because there's
Oh
a
yeah,
big difference between
the theory and
knowing
the
how to put a trade on, but then how do you
mm.
turn that into money? Yeah, that's something I've found. Especially with the kind of quant side, they're much more interested about being right than making money.
So first of all, as I said, we do have the live trading, so you can learn and then trade together with our guys. And the second thing is this is just now right now I'm broadcasting from Orlando in Florida because we came for a conference, the Money Show conference. There's a 3 days conference here, and we specifically for that conference we printed a real book, like a physical book. That what we did, we took our best traders, our best funded traders, swing and day traders, right? And we put that in a book, their strategies, their risk management, their psychology, everything they shared with me, either on interview and also through their hub, their dashboard, so all of their stats, we put that in a book. And that's what, at least as we see it, traders need, right? They get the gist out of what we do. Maybe if you're trading on your own capital with a broker, you will do something else. But if you're trading with us, or trading someone else's capital, then this is it. Those guys made it. They took money from the market. They continue to do so.
Another thing that I'm interested in is getting people over the hurdle. You mentioned this when we first started talking. You started with 10,000, and
Mm,
it takes money to make money in the market, and a
uh,
lot of people. Again, it's going to be a two-part question. Firstly, people don't understand how big the markets are. Okay,
mm,
so if you do scale up, there are a vast amounts of money to be made. I mean, even from a retail perspective, you can make very good money very quickly. That's nothing compared to obviously kind of institution hedge funds. So
yeah.
how do you then position people for that? And then the second part is how do you then scale up? How do traders scale up with your capital, and how do you prepare them for that?
You know, to scale your account generally, like as a retail trader, it's a very hard task, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy to go from 100 shares to 500, or even 500 to 2000. I remember back in the days, I traded 35, 40,000 shares. it was insane even for me when I was experienced and all. It was kind of hard to handle on the psychological aspect of it. So
Yep.
I guess the easiest tip in the world is just do the jump, very narrow jump, right? So from
So
100 go to
increments.
100, exactly, go to 120, to 150. A lot of the traders, and I see that also on evaluation, for example, and also funded, they will go very fast from, like I said, from 100 to 1,000 to 2,000 shares. And then even if it's not your capital, you still see the P&L goes up and down, and it's too much for you to handle. Your brain cannot process it, right?
Yep.
So definitely the first tip that I can give is just do it a bit by bit. You don't need to rush anything. It's much better to build yourself to that level when you can actually trade 2,000 or 5,000 shares one step at the other after another, and instead of jumping and in most cases lose the account. And
Yeah,
that
but I
also,
guess yeah. No, no. From your perspective, that's where the kind of the experience and the kind of risk management side comes in, because there
mm,
will be traders that can scale to a point, and that's all they'll ever be. There are people that simply cannot take that next
yeah,
step, and that's not a bad thing. Not
mhm,
at all. But I mean, obviously, there's a limit to what kind of trader and what you can kind of handle. So, yeah, I guess it's interesting just to see how many kind of traders you've taken from, as you say, 5,000 shares to 10 to 15 to 20, and how
yeah,
that kind of journey progresses, because it must be quite an interesting curve where it flattens off pretty quickly. That
mhm.
it doesn't matter how much education or knowledge you give people, there will be a point where very quickly people from a size perspective plateau.
Yeah, on the scale side, it's probably not about the education, as you mentioned. It's just about building it, building the confidence. It's more of a psychology aspect of it, right? As long as the market is liquid and you can buy. If you trade in Tesla, it doesn't matter if you buy 100 shares or 5,000 shares, you're good, right?
Yeah.
You have enough liquidity to play with. So it's just a matter of psychology and the experience. You test it once, twice, 10 times, 50 times, then you get used to that level of trading a large amount of shares. So that's the main thing. So not education or anything that we can do will help you with that, besides just working on your psychology and try it and test it over and over again. A trader pool, basically, for a trader to scale his account or her account, they need to reach a 10% of profit. And every time you'll do so, we will increase your buying power and increase your daily pause. So
Yeah.
every 10% will push you by 5%, by 10%, etc. We got guys that started with 100K and reached 300 and 400,000, and this is where we at right now.
So how does it work from a kind of actual physical perspective of risk? Is that automated, or do you have actual
Yeah,
people watching P&Ls? Yeah.
we do have guys. We do have a department of risk that always, doing the processing analysis about the traders, their trading, everything involved that. But we do have a lot of automation for that. Yeah.
So I guess the other interesting perspective, because I'm not a stock trader myself personally, so I'm just interested
Mhm.
from my own personal view. Yeah, we mentioned before we came on camera about Trump and kind of tweets moving the market, etc., etc. I still call them tweets. Sorry, I'm not going to apologise for that,
It's okay.
but it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, how do you kind of prepare traders, for this kind of it's almost the second time around. We have experienced it, but we're
Mm,
seeing markets move on. We're going to tariff, China 100%, and then we're going to just this morning we're going to stop cooking oil, and it's just kind of the markets are
that's
actually
it.
reacting to these things, and that filters through to every asset class. So I mean, how do you kind of prepare and kind of help traders deal with these? I mean, they're not uncommon, unfortunately, anymore, but certainly the moves are now more extreme. How do you help traders deal with that?
Yeah. I mean, there are a few ways there. First of all, you don't need to jump the gun, right? You don't need to go and click the mouse key whenever you see a move. You can easily wait, be patient, and actually wait for the pullback or the consolidation, and then continue to trade or start trading the next wave, the next trend, right? Because a lot of the times you see, for example, today, right, the market drop like crazy and then bounce up immediately, but you don't have to take the first bounce. You can
Yep.
easily wait, maybe look for a lower time frame, like even a 1 minute chart, right? And then wait for a pullback and then jump in. So that will be the first thing. Don't get too excited about the volatility. Use that to your advantage, but don't let it lead you. Don't let it guide you, right?
Yep.
Or push you to do trading. So that's definitely the main thing. And the second thing is, and this is, I don't know if it's just my belief. Tell me your thoughts. But the news are already somehow in the market, right? Even today's, even if it's a tweet.
Sure.
At the end of the day, in most cases, even Trump, right, will tell his guys before he will tweet something so strong or so effective, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of the times, even COVID, right? A lot of the times, many guys will know about the news before it will go to the market, and you will see it on the chart.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but a lot of the times. I don't know what your thought on that.
I mean, we have to go back to like the original Dow theory that all information is always known. But I
Exactly.
mean, the end of the day, you have to look at what's happening in Congress and kind of the amount of money these senators have made. They're beating hedge funds. They're outperforming the market. It's very, very difficult to see. We saw it in Bitcoin before the sell-off.
Mhm. Yeah,
This mysterious account, opened up 1 minute before the tweet, and made substantial amounts of money, tens of millions of dollars.
exactly.
So the art of the deal. Listen, I'm not going to get political here. It is what it is. The end of the day, there's a lot of information flowing around, a lot of people making a lot of money, and I think that's what you just have to, as a trader now, be aware of. That we're playing different rules. We're playing a different game. I personally, I trade off paper. I trade off, big moves and volatility. So I'm all for it. That's why I'm very much against, putting a position on, holding it, walking away with a stop, because if
Mm.
something happens in the wrong direction, then you're not necessarily long in the trade, but you're going to get stopped out. So
Yeah,
if you're trading, you have to be sat in front of the screen for me and aware of any eventuality. That's what a true day trader is, in my opinion. But yeah, I
sure.
guess it's new rules, new rules. And what do you think then? Because you're obviously from a technological background, the gaming background to some extent. What about AI then? Are you looking to implement any kind of AI in maybe the risk side, or to help traders? Because I mean, let's go there and then let's talk about AI in general after.
Okay. I mean, AI is just it's a state of mind, right?
Mm,
It's like thinking of risk. Risk. When you think of risk, you think of risk in the trading aspect of it, in a company level, employees, etc. So it's also AI. It's sort of like a state of mind. So
mm,
thinking on how you implement it, not just on trading specifically, but on everything that involved the company, trader pool in that case. So we're doing that on, of course, on customer support, right? We're
mm,
implementing that. We want to be much more, as we talked about before, much more proactive in the traders day to day. So we want to, like I said, once you profile him, once you understand what he didn't do well in his trading, you can actually create the content, create what he needs in order to become better, right?
yeah, yeah.
Psychology, technical, whatever it is, implementing AI on the risk side level, and everything that we do in the product, everything that we do in the company, we're looking to increase our AI into it. We just started like literally 2 months ago, so we got a long way to go because to do like anything, to do it well, you gotta invest in it, you gotta have the resources, the manpower that works on it, that actually understand what it needs to do and all. So yeah.
So I mean, from an AI perspective, obviously I've been training a long time, so I've been
Mm.
around grey boxes, black boxes, that kind of stuff. I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a gamer.
Yeah.
So That's something I've never done. I've been an old school trader, just
Mm.
I'm a trader, market trader, so very, very old school. So do you kind of see more automation, because it's quite easy to automate trades now, but can you see, your guys going into, more kind of automated stuff, or are you still relying on the human brain and being able to teach traders that they're still going to have the edge? I mean, they might not have the edge forever, but I still think, a human still has the edge in the markets.
Yeah, I mean,
Overall, I mean, I still think that. I still believe that.
I agree with you, and I'm totally with you on this one. At the end of the day, it will be just another indicator, a very special and advanced indicator. But as I see it, at least, the AI should support what you already understand and want to do, right? Like automation, because or let's say indicator. You have the strategy, you have the price action, you understand that you want to go long, you understand the concept of what's going on in the market right now, and you just use the I don't know, the MACD, for example, to support your decision, right? So
Yeah.
it's similar in that way when the AI can maybe analyze better for you or help you. You already did your part. Now the AI completes you, right? It gives you another depth to your thought, to your decision making. So this is where I see it in the trading space.
So how about the kind of AI stocks in general? I mean, do you
Mhm.
focus, or do you kind of point traders into that direction? I mean, my own personal perspective, I know different people involved, because I don't get involved in things I'm not an expert in, so I don't get involved in the IT and that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people in the industry that've been in IT and this kind of space for a little time, and the way someone described it to me was quite interesting the other day. It's like 100 companies starting 100 Facebooks, and they're expecting everyone to be using one of these 100 or all of
Yeah,
these 100 Facebooks. There's
yeah.
going to be one or two overall winners, and the rest are going to fold. I mean, so yeah,
I
but I guess there are some bargain stocks in AI to be had. But I mean, again, that's why I'd only day trade. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start picking. The winner of the AI race.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like in any sector, any industry, you will have those two top companies that will actually make it and stay for a long time, and the rest of the rest of the companies will be lagging or uh, stop to exist, right? So it's kind of hard to really when it comes to investing, it's kind of hard to really understand which one will do that. This is why
Yep.
I'm not on the investing side. I'm not looking for um, AI specifically, but I'm looking for a solution that supports AI, right? So, for
Yep.
example, if we're talking about cars, I'm not looking to buy, although I'm holding Neo, the Chinese company, but I'm not really looking to buy the company that creates the car, but actually looking for the batteries, right? Or for the chips
Sure. Yeah.
and stuff that's supporting that machine to continue to work. Regarding day trading, it's about finding the hot stock, the hot sector, and then
Yeah.
go from there and try to find the right stock for you. Of course, you can either be a trader that focus on the big seven like Tesla, Amazon, Google, all of those, and continue to trade them day in and day out, or you can be more of stocks in play when you're looking for that top gainers for that day. It could be small cap, it could be mid cap, but just focusing on the volatility and the sentiment, the accelerator for that day.
So, I mean, it sounds like, again, it's something, that I'm very interested in, because, the kind of day trading perspective, I find a lot of people just give up, because they cannot take the swings. Have you got any kind of, goals? How many traders do you want? You're gonna, do you want hundreds of traders, thousands? Is it just kind of, is there a critical mass, or, do you want to stay more niche? I mean, I'm just interested in how many, kind of true day traders we're going to have out there.
Yeah, I mean, currently we have on the funded side, we have a couple of hundreds. Um, we are always looking to expand. That's the business nature or the human nature, I guess. We're always looking to push further, and as more as we continue to craft this and really understand. what we can do better in order to push those numbers higher, as I mentioned, the 25, the 15%,
Yep.
um, and then we will continue to do so. This is part of the challenge here, right? Not just making money on the market, but actually how we can transform the industry, as I truly believe, as we're doing right now. We're giving opportunities for traders from all over the world to actually trade stocks with a minimum of risk from their personal personal saving, right? Just a test. So we completely change in in that perspective.
Well, from my perspective, yeah, the more humans in the market, the better. You know, I think it's.
Mhm.
I don't know how long it will last or how long anything will last, but I think, yeah, I mean, I've always been an advocate of, giving people education to a point, and then kind of that kind of benefit of experience, because it's as we said, there's only so far you can take people from a knowledge perspective. The real
Mm.
learning, comes from actual putting, trades
Trading,
on, and
exactly.
like the thing is, sometimes people don't understand. It might be thousands and thousands of trades before you become profitable, or even the penny does drop. But yeah, no, it's really interesting stuff. So I know you've got a conference to go to, the Money Show. That should be interesting. But how can people get hold of you, Michael? What's the best way to kind of communicate with you online?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn. So just check Michael Katz, and you will easily find me. And of course, Trade a Pool at tradeapool.com and all the social media.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Yeah, well, I'll definitely give it a look after this interview because, yeah, that was good. That was all the kind of right kind of noises that I want people to be bringing to the trading world. Actually helping real people. Real traders, especially day traders. Okay, well, Michael, thanks for
100%.
your time, and we'll wrap this up. If you like this recording, please make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I'll be back with another trading battle interview in the very near future. All right, guys, thanks again, Michael, and
Thanks so
goodbye.
much. Bye for now. Bye, guys.